following is a presentation of Spring Hill Sports Live. It's time for Spring Hill High School Athletics. On your home for the Broncos, Spring Hill Sports Live. Spring Hill Sports Live is presented by Strode Orthodontics, creating beautiful, healthy smiles. Learn more at StrodeOrtho.com. Also by It's time for the Broncos, right here on your home for Spring Hill High School Athletics, Spring Hill Sports Live.
Hello and welcome to the Spring Hill Activity Center. I am Tristan Jordan, joined as always by my good friend, you know him, you love him, Alex Smith. How we doing tonight? This is going to be a great matchup between the Blue Valley Tigers and the Spring Hill Broncos here in Spring Hill, Kansas.
Yeah, expecting a really good one tonight, Tristan. We had a little bit of an interesting journey here for the visiting Tigers from Blue Valley High School, and also something we've been kind of looking at. This is, without a doubt, one of the elite programs, no doubt about it, in 5A, really in Kansas in general. So I think that for Spring Hill to get a upset, get the kind of result that they want out of this game, I think it bodes well for them that this is a Friday game. Maybe could be somewhere else, could be maybe getting ahead of it in terms of the favorites of this game, the Blue Valley Tigers coming in, and you couple that with the kind of bus issues getting over here. I think that both of those things kind of combine to bode well for Spring Hill, despite the Tigers coming in here 7-1, just a great team.
Absolutely. 7-1 for the Tigers on the season. Spring Hill just 5-4 following a 10-1 victory to Ottawa yesterday evening. Expected a bit of a better result, if you can even say that, than a 10-1 victory. However, 10-1 certainly got the job done. Although against Ottawa, Spring Hill will certainly look to bounce back, if that's even a possibility,
right,
following a 10-1 victory here against Blue Valley. So we will be right back with more pregame show right after these messages.
Cardinal Glass in Spring Hill is now hiring. Cardinal Glass is a great place to land, with immediate openings for production technician, starting at $19.01 with a $1 premium for evening hours. Also hiring warehouse and maintenance technicians. Cardinal Glass provides competitive wages and great benefits, including medical, dental, life, health savings, and monthly profit sharing. Call 913-592-6100. Walk-ins are welcome at their facility on North Webster Road in Spring Hill, or visit them online at cardinalcorp.com.
Strode Orthodontics is creating beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. Claire Strode and her staff have decades of combined experience, offering clear and metal Damon smile braces and Invisalign clear aligners for teens and adults. Dr. Strode tailors your treatment to meet your specific needs with 3 convenient locations in Olathe, Overland Park, and Spring Hill. Strode Orthodontics is ready to give you the beautiful smile you've always wanted. Call for your free no-obligation consultation, 913-491-3400, or visit StrodeOrtho.com.
Are you looking for a trusted heating and air conditioning contractor? Look no further than Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's Heating and Air Conditioning Company. Comfort Designs Heating and Air has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated right here in Spring Hill for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net. Or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453.
Elliott Group is a proud supporter of Spring Hill and USD 230. At Elliott Group, we work, live, and shop in your local communities. Serving Miami and Johnson counties for more than 45 years, Elliott Group understands your needs. As an independent insurance agency, Elliott Group works with numerous carriers to find the coverage that best fits your needs. In Spring Hill, call 913-592-5552 or visit ElliottInsuranceGroup.com.
Auction Bank community banking at its best. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hello and welcome back to the Spring Hill Activities Center for some Varsity Girls Friday night soccer action. Welcome to the pregame show, which is brought to you by Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs is Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. Learn more at comfortdesigns.net or call 913-592-4453. Alex, welcome into this pregame show, and we're going to get started right off the bat with some keys to the game, which is brought to you by Spring Hill Chronic and Acupuncture. The key to a better quality of life is making Spring Hill part of your health and wellness plan. Dr. Daniel Harding strives to make it as easy and as affordable as possible to get the care you need for the whole family. Learn more at springhillchiropractor.com or call 913-592-3541. Alex, what are some keys to the game that you are expecting to see here this evening?
Yeah, well, my big key to the game, especially coming off of a big 10-0 win for Spring Hill just the other day, is to just recognize that this is going to be an entirely different game, an entirely different opponent. 4A versus 5A, that doesn't even really account for it, though. This is, one of the bottom teams in 4A, yesterday, and one of the top teams in the entire state of Kansas, regardless of level here in this game. So my other key is punch them in the mouth early. Get it going early, especially with that kind of that Friday factor, that team bus rolling in late for the Tigers. That's a time to pump that first-time ball up to Vogelbacher early and see what the Broncos can do here with the first say of this game. Don't fall behind.
Definitely. So you want to get started with that early jump, right? You want to get that first goal, as you mentioned, hit Vogelbacher early, try to let her show her individual brilliance. Well, I like everything you've said, and we are just going to move right along with those notes in mind to tonight's area matchups, which are brought to you by Apex Massage Therapy. Massage isn't just a luxury, it's a way to a happier, healthier life. Kylie at Apex Massage Therapy knows your aches and pains may be the same as others, but your treatment plan doesn't have to be. Schedule your appointment by calling 913-575-1079. Apex Therapy, 913-575-1079. Alex, what are some area matchups that have caught your eye for this evening?
Yeah, so big Spring Hill baseball matchup. Of course, they are participating in a tournament that is taking place at DeSoto High School. Tonight's opponent is Blue Valley Southwest. And then some girls varsity soccer matchups down in Chanute. It is Baldwin at Chanute, Lansing at Piper. And right here, of course, the Blue Valley Tigers and the Spring Hill Broncos. Finally, track and field. We can't neglect that. Over at Eudora, it is a multi-school, multi-frontier school meet over at Eudora this evening. Plenty of action all over the league, even locally in Spring Hill. I believe softball, though, not in action this evening.
Plenty of action indeed. No softball for those of you who are interested. However, we do have plenty of soccer action coming your way in just about a minute till kickoff. We will be right back with your starting lineups. Keep it here on Spring Hill Sports Live.
For more than 20 years, Gherkin Rental has been the place to go to get the job done in eastern Kansas and western Missouri. With a huge selection of quality equipment, from roll-offs to trailers, telehandlers to generators, power washers to popcorn makers. Experienced equipment professionals and clean, well-maintained tools to help you get the job done right the first time. Gherkin Rental. Stop by any of their 13 locations across the KC Metro or call 855-GHERKINS. That's 855-437-5367.
Welcome back to the Spring Hill Activity Center for tonight's matchup between the Broncos of Spring Hill and the Tigers of Blue Valley High School. We are ready with tonight's starting lineups, which are brought to you by America's Heartland Collection. From antiques to live plants, you never know what you're going to find to add to your own personal collection. Let us spark your curiosity at America's Heartland Collection, Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5 at 305 South Webster. Special thank you to America's Heartland Collection for sponsoring this evening's starting lineups. We'll start with the visitors for Blue Valley High School. Number 10, Greta Likens. Number 12, Georgie Minis. Number 14, Mary Kate Weinrich. Number 16, Megan Maluk. Number 18, Sophia Murr. Number 19, Gigi Murr. Number 20, Clara Bax. Number 22, Callie Sartino. Number 23, Eden Bax. Number 24, Sydney King. And number 26, Mia Yang. And now we are ready to go for our Spring Hill starters for the home team. In goal, number 0, Avery Young. Number 2 on the wing, Veronica Ferris. Number 3, Elizabeth Williams. Number 6, Jessica Rousseau. Number 7, Olivia Infante. Number 9, Elsie Sprague. Number 10, Izzy Ferris. Number 15, Gracie Oppo. Number 18, Haley Bergman. Number 19, Ella Buckles, and number 20, Peyton Vogelbacher. And we will be right back.
Hold on,
with
Tristan.
More.
Hold on, Tristan. I gotta stop you, but we've got the Spring Hill Supernovas here today with us as the mascots for the Broncos. I just wanted to put that out there. That's who you see in pink in your shirts. I just think it's an amazing gesture.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, we will keep an eye on those Supernovas as we come back from this break. So keep it right here on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Hers Incorporated in Spring Hill is your local Bobcat mower dealer. Bobcat mowers combine heavy gauge steel with advanced engineering to give you the best cut every time. Simple controls and design make maintenance and service quick and easy. And when you get your Bobcat at Hers, they can complete all service and repairs covered by your warranty. Bobcat mowers are affordable, giving you a commercial grade machine at a residential price. To learn more,
come and visit us at hersinc.net. Call Hers at
913-247-3530.
The industry's most advanced equipment and training, state-of-the-art diagnostic tools, and the small-town friendly service you expect. That's J&T Auto Service in Spring Hill. Eliminate the veil of uncertainty with J&T Auto's digital diagnostic process. This unique service ensures transparency, clear communication, and documentation, allowing for a quick and complete repair. To learn more or to schedule an appointment, call 913-592-6424. You can also visit jtautoinc.com. When it comes to helping people with their finances, a cookie-cutter approach doesn't work. That's why you need Kim Thompson at Prudential Financial in Spring Hill. Kim knows that everyone's different. She'll listen to you and discuss your hopes and dreams, allowing you to focus on what's important. At Kim Thompson Financial, they focus on protecting your family, saving for retirement, living in retirement, financial strategy, saving for education, and your small business. To learn more, visit Kim Thompson Prudential Financial at the corner of Victory and Webster in Spring Hill, or call 913-592-5573.
And welcome back to the Spring Hill Activity Center as the members of the stands are getting to know this evening's starting lineups, we are going to go ahead and tell you about our opening kickoff sponsor, Seats Incorporated. Kick off your new career with Seats Incorporated in Spring Hill. Seats is a leader in the manufacturing of quality seating and accessories for vehicles with competitive wages and benefits. To see all their openings or to apply online, go to seatsinc.com. Thank you, Seats Incorporated, for sponsoring the opening kickoff, which is just moments away. We've already reset the clock. We've reset everything we have here. And now we are just waiting for the players down on the pitch to get set and ready to go as we get ready for the starting lineups for the Spring Hill Broncos. They're the Spring Hill Supernovas.
Right.
Very fun to see.
I love that club name also. That's a fantastic name for a team.
Indeed. It's very fun to see that at the professional levels, you see the players walk out with younger children, right? And here we're watching them do the same, and it's just great to see the community come together in such a colorful way, like those bright neon pink jerseys that the Supernovas have. But you mentioned earlier in the broadcast during our pregame show that one of the keys to the game would be to hit early on the counterattack or on the straight-up attack, however you want to get at that. But just try to hit them in the face early with that early goal from Vogelbacher or from whoever. I would even say that another thing is to keep your mentality high. Don't allow the ideology of, we're going up against one of the best teams in Kansas to phase you. Come into this thinking, no, we're the best 5A team in the state of Kansas. We can take this team. We've been training against 6A clubs for several years now, and we have what it takes.
And look at just how odd of a weather situation this is now. It's a beautiful evening here in Spring Hill. It's about, I think it's upper 50s right now, if I'm not
57,
mistaken.
yes.
There we go. Good guess. But you see one of the Supernovas out there does have a winter beanie on. And, a couple players with sleeves, a couple players without. This is the type of weather you could go in absolutely any direction and you wouldn't be wrong. You know, it is just a very odd time to be a student athlete in terms of the weather, in terms of all these outdoor sports.
It really is. We're in the time of the year where here in Kansas you can get all 4 seasons in one day, and we are certainly going to feel the brightness of spring and potentially even the harshness of winter as we are in a freeze watch until 9 a.m. on Sunday.
My goodness.
So we are starting kickoff at 57 degrees, and it is projected to land either just at 50 or maybe a little below by the time we hear the 3 whistles at the end of the game. So hopefully it's nothing too bitter out there in terms of the weather, and certainly not in the result either.
On a personal note, I'm hoping for amazing weather in Spring Hill this weekend. I'm going to attending a wedding that is going to be taking place in Spring Hill. It's actually my very first non-athletic event in the great town of Spring Hill, Kansas. So really looking forward to that. Maybe a little less so, though, with a freeze warning. I mean, come on, guys. It's April.
You're going to need your parka for that one for sure.
Apparently.
You need to break out the long johns under the suit.
Apparently, I shouldn't have left my native Minnesota.
Oh, well, then you should be just fine.
Oh, that's
you're accustomed to the cold.
That's what you'd think.
Well, as the Tigers take to their side of the pitch, we've got soccer balls being distributed to the Supernovas around the perimeter, and the Broncos are taking their shape. Looks like they're going to be running a classic 4-3-3 yet again, as they have grown to be very fond of. Vogelbacher up top on the ball to get this thing kicked off and ready to go. Our back line is looking like its traditional self with, from left to right, we have Oppo, Bergman, Buckles, and then Rousseau in that back line. The midfield is Sprague, Infante, and Ferris, Izzy Ferris. And then left to right on the top line, we've got Williams, Ronnie Ferris, and Vogelbacher is that center striker leading the way for the Broncos. We are underway, and just like that, the Tigers cut out possession.
What I like about the Bronco 4-3-3 is mostly has to do with the versatility of Vogelbacher, because you can kind of see her lead the line and then those 2 wider players stay wide, or you can see her kind of drop deep to receive possession, and at that time you'll see those wider players kind of come inside and be more forward and more goal-scoring options when she does come short.
Definitely, and on the other side of the pitch, the defensive side, you'll see her with the bright red hair, number 18, Haley Bergman. Something I'm looking for out of her. In the last couple games, she's been very prone to simply clear the ball. And in certain situations, that's very important to do. But
like that one.
Like that one, exactly. But what I want to see from Bergman is more of the coolness under pressure, playing to feet of a teammate behind her trailing or simply trying to kick it downfield rather than out for a throw-in in their defensive third. She's been really strong thus far this season, but I think that small little tweak can add a lot to her game, and I know that that's been something that the coaching staff will be working with her on, as she is just a sophomore. She's still very young, so she's got plenty of room to grow, but how high her floor already is just enables her to have an even higher ceiling throughout her career. Good cutout there from Ronnie Ferris, out for a throw-in in the defensive third from the Tigers. If you can't hear the wind, you may want to get your hearing checked because it is absolutely whistling into this press box right now.
Or maybe our audio hardware is just so high-tech that it drowns out all that pesky background noise.
That too. That too. Good passing, simple possession-based game right now as Vogelbacher pulls it back, sends it on to Ferris on the far side, trails it all the way back towards Rousseau, who's tucked herself into the midfield. Great idea there, trying to split the line of the left fullback from the Tigers and their left-sided center back, looking for the run of Ferris. Not to be, but good idea there from Rousseau. Tigers now trying to play out of the back. Good early pressure from the Broncos, drawing that line of confrontation all the way in their attacking third. But the Tigers keeping composure, and as I say that, commentator's curse coming in handy for the home team here, as Sprague's able to win the ball, and then eventually a foul on Infante. We'll see the Broncos get a free kick in their attacking half.
Good balanced play early. I like it. You mentioned that line of engagement for the Broncos. They are coming up quite high, but they're not overcommitting. They're not necessarily going for that straight-up steal that you'll see them go for against some of those 4A type of teams.
Bergman's ball is sent in towards the box, and it bounces once before going out of play. And again, you mentioned the breeze in the pregame, right? It is a little chilly out there, but a lot of it has to do with that wind. And that's certainly going to be a factor here this evening, as that free kick, I don't know if Bergman really was anticipating it to be that hard, as it didn't look like she made that much contact with it, but the wind certainly blowing in that direction. The way of the Broncos attack from right to left on your screen. Tigers take the throw in. Well done from Oppo to clear it out of play. Good pressure from Bergman. And there's that composure, right? I mentioned just not even 5 minutes ago that I want her to try to put it into play, and she was able to send it downfield, went off of a Tiger and out for a throw-in. That type of maneuverability from her is going to be essential if she wants to raise her game to the next level. Buckles on the ball. She has Rousseau making the run, looking for the connection. It will find Ferris, who lays it off one time for Rousseau. Back to Ferris now.
That's
Veronica
nice.
Ferris looking for the run of Vogelbacher. She has the pace to get there, and good defending from the Tigers. Number 26, Mia Yang, did well to get in front of Vogelbacher, eliminating that opportunity for the Broncos. And a heavy pass from Yang as that goes out of play. Oppo will take the throw.
This is what we wanted. Tigers looking a little sloppy early, and Broncos dialing in the pressure. Haven't had that chance just yet, but balance of play certainly favoring the Broncos early in this one.
Indeed it is. I think everybody coming into this match was expecting the Tigers to come out of the gates like a racehorse, ready to just pummel these Broncos, and the Broncos are not allowing it to happen. And as soon as I say that, opportunity for the Tigers here. Good pace from Bergman to get back, to apply that pressure. Ball goes across the face of goal. Young dives for it, and then second time collects. That was risky from the Broncos.
It was, and I think Young dove in. It looked like she just about did get a hand on that initial cross, did just enough to kind of divert it out of the path of that far post crashing forward for the Tigers.
So the first real threat from the Tigers comes and goes. Nothing happening from it, and a great ball from Izzy Ferris finds Peyton Vogelbacher as she forces her way into the box. Elizabeth Williams with the strike, and that will roll harmlessly wide on the near side, out for a goal kick. But a decent counterattack there from the Broncos.
Yeah, and the recipe is simple for them. As few passes as it takes to get the ball up to number 20, that's what you want to do. And that was a really good diagonal ball through the middle of the field.
They will certainly be trying to thread through that back line as frequently as they can, trying to get Vogelbacher's pace engaged in this match. And a nice cutout there from Izzy Ferris. Bergman's pass is collected by the opposition. Tigers trying to play through the midfield now. They have a runner on the far side, opt to lay it back to their left back. Backs into the midfield. And an errant pass is cut out by Rousseau. Good trail for Buckles. Nice bit of maneuvering there from the center back.
Yeah, that confidence was not there at the beginning of the season for these Spring Hill center defenders.
No, it was not, and neither is this opportunity for the Tigers. Great stop there from Bergman. No fear, and a great ball forward from Infante. Can Williams get there? Yang is the first one to get there, but good pressure from Williams, not willing to give up on the play. It goes out for a Tiger throw, but immense defensive pressure from the freshman number 3. The sophomore, excuse me.
Yeah, this is really good-looking defending from the Broncos, all 3 levels right now. The defenders, the midfield, and the forward line all doing their bit defensively.
They're all working as a unit in cohesion as that ball is threaded through for the Tigers. In towards the box they go. Great pressure from Jessica Rousseau. Clears it towards the feet of Young, who plays it out, looking for Ferris.
Yeah, Rousseau got beaten initially on that play, but did not give up and made that lunging tackle. Was inside the box, but it was also clean.
Veronica Ferris doing well to hold her own against some heavy pressure from the visitors. Ball threaded through, intended for Williams, is cut out by the back line. And Yang puts it back into the midfield. Now backs. Good pressure from Rousseau, who's almost switched roles with Veronica Ferris for the moment, and now they go switching back. Good pressure from the striker, Vogelbacher. Yang. Opts for the short option to backs. Good defensive pressure from the Broncos again. They're applying the press to great effect, and they're not allowing much space for the Tigers to try to pass through. And when they have been able to pass through them, they get on their horses, or Broncos rather, and they ride back into defensive structure.
They certainly do, and I love how much of the play is kind of taking place on this near side here. That gives us, the broadcasters, and you at home, the viewers, a great chance to just see how the physicality of the one-on-one duels as players just come flying into your frame and contest possession.
Good idea there from Olivia Infante, trying to play out of the midfield. Buckles able to keep that one in play, just trailing it down line. Yang sends it to the middle for Weinrich. Back to Yang.
Tigers players unable to turn. Good play from them right now, but the only ball they can find is backwards.
So we are about 10 minutes into this game, and this is about as good as you could possibly have expected.
Right.
From the Broncos up against one of the best teams in Kansas, who have a record of 7-1. That'll be an offsides call on that opportunity from the Tigers. Good defensive structure yet again from this back line, who at the beginning of the year really looked...
Oh, it's night and day.
It looked rather shaky, to put it lightly. And now, more than halfway through this season, we are seeing exactly what kind of progress Eric Schwartz and his staff have done here in Spring Hill, and it is an immense amount of work, and it is quite brilliant to see.
It really is, and we talk about enjoying kind of watching young players grow up, watching young teams grow up, but we're kind of spoiled in that we don't even have to perceive it on an every game basis, right? It can kind of be a slow burn to watch a player make micro improvements that are going to all add together to really make a difference in his or her game. But when you go in, you are like us and you watch a game early in the season, then you come in later and it's been 4 or 5 games, then you actually see a marked amount of improvement in the team shape. That's certainly what I see from the Bronco, especially this Bronco backline. Here's Vogelbacher on the charge.
Vogelbacher pressing forward with the ball. Only one to beat. Into the box with her right foot. Takes a strike, and it takes a deflection. That'll be out for a corner kick. Vogelbacher making a decent amount out of absolutely nothing that time.
Right, Vogelbacher on the right side did have support. I think was that Williams making the run on the left side there?
Yes, it was.
But it was 2-on-2. Had a defender tight to both her and the player making the run on the far post, so I like the decision to try to go alone there, bearing down on goal.
This corner kick will be taken by number 7, Olivia Infante. She has been their free kick specialist all season long. Will take this with her left boot. Not quite as high as she would have wanted it, but it is free in the 6-yard box. Veronica Ferris collects, sends it back out to Infante. Now looking for Russo on her left. Could take the strike. Does so with her right, and it is a diving save from the goalkeeper from Blue Valley High School to keep it all even at 2 goose eggs.
First good opportunity for the Broncos, and it came via a pretty poorly delivered corner kick, and it was just kind of about maybe 2 or 3 feet kind of bouncing at that mid-level in the middle of the box. Nobody wanted it, and ends up a fruitless opportunity.
It just looked like by the time people had noticed that the ball was free, it had already been pushed wide.
Right.
And it was one of those moments of sharpness that you need to have in those types of dangerous moments, but every now and then it gets past you. Tigers throw-in is put out of play for a Broncos throw this time. Gracie Oppo will take. Gracie Oppo is an interesting story. Her freshman year, the coaches were really impressed with her. Last year, she had a few more minutes with the JV roster and got a few run-ins with the varsity squad in the winger position. And this year, we have seen her feature far more as this left back role, almost having her position all to her own. The occasional challenger here and there, but that's something else that's been really nice with this Broncos roster is you mentioned at the beginning of the year having one starting lineup and then coming in later in the year. And a lot of times some schools will have completely different lineups, but the Broncos have maintained this starting 11 throughout the season with the excuse of injury and things like that. That's obviously going to happen. Sometimes there are conflicts such. But it's nice to see that when they're at full strength, they have the same starting 11 all the way through the season. Throw in for the Tigers now. They find it into the box. Bergman able to clear it away, preventing the corner kick, and eventually a throw in is won for the Broncos. Really well done there from Haley Bergman.
Really well done, and the original throw-in came after a fantastic tackle by Russo, who is an absolute workhorse on that right side.
Rousseau can play anywhere on this pitch.
Right.
And she makes it look like she's been playing there for years.
Easy to pick her out with the armband.
Absolutely. If you watch Sporting Kansas City or anything like that, I would compare her most to Graham Zusi, starting more in the attacking phase of the game at a younger age, and then as she gets older, she slides back into that more defensive
as you gain
role.
Wisdom.
Yeah, yes,
there you go.
Exactly. Not gray hairs, wisdom. The Tigers now trying to get an attack going. Good pressure from Oppo. Able to win the throw for the Broncos. An opportunity that could have been threatening ends up being the opposite. As Broncos get a throw in.
Oftentimes you'll see teams kind of be stuck trying to enter that top of the box area, that area that is by far the highest probability to score from, but in the first 15 minutes of this game, you're kind of seeing the Tigers get stopped almost 10 yards in front of the Spring Hill goal. That's where that kind of final line tends to sit, and they do hold a fairly high offside line as well.
That they do. That substitution was McKenna Estes coming on for Elsie Sprague, and that means that McKenna Estes will take this left wing spot. Elizabeth Williams will then tuck into that dual pivot 8 role that Elsie Sprague was in. That's a move intended for more pace on this left side. We've seen Williams able to get involved a few times, but doesn't quite have the pace to get on the end of some of these balls. Estes, that is her intention in coming into this match. A freshman trying to bring on that fresh, younger set of legs, as we have 5 substitutions here for the visitors.
And this is where the game can kind of break out of its pattern. We've seen Spring Hill attacking. We've seen most of the game kind of in that middle third of the field. But both teams have now made that initial wave of changes, and we'll see how that does end up changing the outcome.
We will definitely see which coach saw the greater weak points, 1 sub to 5 subs. It's a rather interesting move from Blue Valley going for almost half your squad.
Yeah, the interesting thing, too, is sometimes that can have nothing to do with tactics at this level. Sometimes that can just be the routine subs that you make at this point in the game. So, regardless of how it ends up playing out, obviously they do have a big impact on the outcome.
Blue Valley doing a nice job of possessing there amidst Broncos pressure. And as soon as I say it, Vogelbacher is now in to chase. Yang trails it back to her keeper. Back to Yang. Under heavy pressure from Estes, Yang's able to dribble out. Into the midfield goes the center back. Great forward ball, but maybe overcooked, as Young will be able to collect that no problem.
Deep cut, Antonio Rudiger center backing right there. Just bringing the ball out of the right side of defense and booming forward a long pass. I love the creativity. I love the initiative. Just didn't quite have it.
Good bit of possession there from Izzy Ferris. Able to keep on the ball. Good idea looking for Vogelbacher up top. Just not meant to be as it was cut out by Weinrich. Blue Valley clearly trying to up the tempo here in possession. They were playing pretty stagnant early on. Now they're going for more of those over-the-top balls. That was clearly successful for them. And that one will not amount to much else than every other has.
I mean, that was an unreal run, though. And delivery there down the left flank. I mean, we rep the Broncos here, but my goodness, special piece of play. They don't all result in a goal,
And it's important to highlight those, too, because as an athlete on the pitch, you may think negatively of that idea because it didn't amount to anything, but it's the idea that you had that thought of to loop it over the center backs or to have that curling pass, and then for the winger to have that run to get onto the end of it, make that run before the pass is played so you're able to reach it next time. It's good educational anecdote there. Bergman cutting out a forward pass, finding Ferris, but unable to connect with her sister. As Veronica's pass is collected. Good pressure from Estes. Then Infante applies it. Yang finally lays it off.
Yang looks really confident on the ball in that right side of defense.
Absolutely. Spring Hill is known to have a center back in confident possession, and as such last season. But as she has graduated out of the program, it is now nice to see that somewhere else, although it may not be in Spring Hill, keeping that attacking center back vibe alive, as the kids would say. Oppo slows the forward pass. Bergman tries to lump it long. Yang. Mir.
And sometimes when center backs have that ability to kind of just go and run, you'll see them almost do it too much because you do want to encourage that, but you don't want it to be over the top as the Broncos have an attack here down the right wing.
Speaking of over the top, Vogelbacher trying to get in on top, and she is dispossessed and down on the ground following that tackle. She's perfectly fine as she gets back up to her feet. Blue Valley now trying to play out of the back. Heavy touch that time, denied that forward progression amid the pressure from Williams. Estes is able to get a foot on that forward ball. And then she's dribbled around by Yang. Something from Yang is she's been faking every time she's able to get past a Bronco. She fakes like she's going to make a long ball.
Right.
And then at the last moment, right as the Bronco defender jumps to block it with their body, she just simply scuffles right past, keeping possession all the while. So keep an eye on that as we keep going. Ferris showing great pace, able to get onto the end of that. Clean tackle. She just simply gets it launched. Blue Valley trying to string together some passes in their attacking third. Bergman able to get a foot to it, but now it's on Oppo to drop back. Good pressure from Oppo. All the way to the near side. Good work from Oppo to clear that out for a throw-in. Wombolt, typically with the JV squad, now featuring as the right back for Blue Valley.
I love this from the our ball boys or ball girls down there just delaying play. Did you see that? A little bit of hesitation.
Just gamesmanship.
You slow them down, slow down the attack. Tigers had the ball a little bit here in the Bronco half, and just doing whatever you can.
Teach them while they're young.
Exactly.
Great tackle there from Oppo. All ball on that tackle. Heavy press from Izzy Ferris. That ball had the right idea, but not on the same page as her winger, as that ball goes all the way through for Young to collect. Buckles looking for Ferris. Tries to lay it off for Williams. Bergman's being forced to step in. Her intervention is successful as Russo sends to Infante. Has space to her left. Strong tackle there from the visitors. Great ball in behind, looking for the strike on her right foot. And it's into the back of the net for the first goal of this matchup. Broncos held strong for more than 20 minutes. But at the end of the day, Tigers take the lead.
And it's really the first Bronco mistake of the game, passing the ball around the back, and such a strong Tiger team. Again, coming into this game 7-1, and they show you why, really with their first true goal-scoring chance of the game, so clinical with it.
And clinical is all they had to be, and in fact, they had to be that, right? Because the Broncos have been doing a nice job defensively, but finally, visitors able to break through. So what now from the Broncos? Will they keep their heads high amidst this pressure, or will they succumb?
Broncos had a chance or two, kind of had the best opportunity from the corner kick so far. But looking for them to respond in these next 10 minutes of this one with at least a couple goal-scoring chances. Here's another for Blue Valley, though.
Mayer with the shot. Simple save that time from Young. Initial goal was by Greta Likens, the junior from Blue Valley High School. Able to get the scoring started here in Spring Hill at the Activity Center. Great slicing ball there from Yang. That ball slips past Rousseau. Good pressure from Buckles. Offsides goes the flag, and that bails the Broncos out of what could have been a very threatening opportunity.
Now, if you wonder why I do this, why I zoom out on the offside linesman, I just think that shot that they show in soccer broadcasts where the linesman is looking down the line on his flag, I think that's one of the most, obviously usually that camera's down on the field, you get a little bit more of a visual reaction, but that's one of my little favorites here as I try to give you guys a couple of different angles. This is absolutely a gorgeous field to shoot a game at, I will say that.
It really is. It's non-traditional with the purple center circle, but when I first started broadcasting here, I wasn't quite sure on it, but it has certainly grown to be something that I admire and agree with. I think it's a nice touch of Spring Hill in the middle. Buckles comes all the way across, able to dispossess Mayer. Is unsure of where the ball is. Falls to the Tigers, who send a beautiful ball in towards the box, and the header goes wide. Headed by Isabella Vaz from Blue Valley. Good opportunity there. And that one will go begging. They'll want that one back.
Really good opportunity, and got the power part of the header, really kind of exactly how a coach would tell you how to take a header when you don't have to. Don't jump, because that gives you more control. You can get a ton of power on a header without actually jumping. Did not jump from the center of the box, but ended up heading it just wide of the goal.
And of course, all of your power on a header is generated from your legs.
Right.
So when you leave the ground, leave the earth, you no longer have that power to generate.
Right.
So you're 100% right that you want to stay rooted to some degree. Now, you won't get the beautiful shot of the header goal as we may see from other professional angles, but at this level, you just want to simply put that into touch. Ball goes out for a throw-in. Nice bit of shielding there. Oh, it's a corner kick. Excuse me. Well done from Veronica Ferris. Now Olivia Infante will take this corner kick.
Yeah, remember that first corner kick was delivered pretty low bouncing, kind of made it past the first and then the second defender. As it looks like we're having a little ball girl convention. 2 ball girls over here, none of them in the corner. And guys, we needed you down there. It's all right.
This one's sent in. Same height, still pretty low. Vogelbacher able to get to the end of it. And a bit too pacey on the pass as that goes out of play for a throw-in. So another opportunity from the Broncos goes.
There they go.
Goes begging.
Look at that hard work.
Supernova's getting engaged on over there.
Excellent.
Later in the broadcast, I was going to ask you what your chamber connection is, but I think you're just going to say it's anything involving the Supernovas.
Yeah.
So we may not even need to touch on that segment.
Now, I've seen the kind of the basketball thing where they allow the youth basketball league to play on the varsity court during halftime with, with the whole crowd there and everything. I think that's fantastic. I have not seen anything like that at any soccer game that I've covered. So if that were to take place during halftime, I mean, with all respect to Michael Grand, we might have to take some live coverage of that event.
And you know what? We certainly can.
We'll see. I don't want to falsely advertise.
Great ball in for Vogelbacher. It's still loose in the box. Finally, keeper able to possess, but a great opportunity there. Izzy Ferris, maybe just slightly overcooked, intended for Vogelbacher, able to get there right as it was being collected. But you can see the physical frustration from Vogelbacher that she hasn't been able to put one into the back of the net just quite yet. But she will certainly not give up, as the captain has a team to lead. 2 substitutes are ready and waiting on the sideline for the Broncos. Ball's kept in play. Mayer sending it forward for Malik. Looking for the strike on her right foot. And the second goal. Malik able to find the back of the net that time. Avery Young did well to come out and cut off the angle, but it may have just been a little too central. Not quite enough of the angle on that time. Guest for the far post shot. Malik opted for the near post. So score now reads 2-0 to the visitors.
Yeah, just a piece of individual brilliance there. Received the ball on inside of her own half and then exchanged the 1-2 on the side. And at that point was past all the defenders. It wasn't really a question of needing some kind of crazy individual skill, just a question of keeping the composure. And that she did, bearing down on goal, picking the spot early and burying it at the near post.
We are back underway as the Broncos try to mount a comeback here. Substitutes also came in. Elsie Sprague and Maya Lozano came onto the pitch for Gracie Oppo and Olivia Infante. So we will see what those changes bring for the home team. Good pressure from Williams. Blue Valley looking for another slicing ball in through the back line. Great drop and pressure from Bergman. Now, some of you at home may have seen that ball go off of Bergman's legs and into the hands of Young, and traditionally that's a handball, right? Well, it was a non-intentional pass from Bergman. It was simply a last-ditch defensive effort, which means that the keeper can pick that ball up with no repercussions. Williams finds Veronica Ferris. Looking for the ball intended for Rousseau, but is dispossessed before she could make it happen. Good pressure from Bergman. A nice cutout from Lozano. Sprague barely able to get there. Ferris looking for the run of her sister on the wing. Following a deflection, she will get onto it, and Vogelbacher then applying chase to the next ball. It stays in play. I thought for sure that was going to go out of play.
I think the wind affected that one.
Absolutely. Good pressure from Veronica Ferris on the far side, able to win out. Looking for the cross now. If nobody's in the box, she sends the cross right at the keeper. And unlucky that time. When the Broncos are able to get those opportunities, you want them to be barking at each other to get all of that communication sorted out. trying to simply just play that ball back into the midfield would make that work even better than setting a cross in if you can't see that anybody's there. Things to note for the second half. Still 10 minutes remaining here in the first. Mayer has acres of space on this near sideline as Lozano has stepped up to apply pressure. Bergman now tasked with dropping back. Her initial tackle misses its target. Mayer able to find a target in the middle of the box. Shot taken this time from the Tigers, and it is simply collected by Young. Shot by Malik.
Yeah, the danger clearly now coming from that right side. That's where the midfield of the Broncos just getting a little bit overrun. Those players kind of combining on this near side flank. And that's not necessarily where the goal threat will come from, but that's where the progression down the field will come from.
Good pressure here from Vogelbacher as she's able to get onto the ball. Ferris sending it forward, looking for her sister, who heads it forward, intended for Estes. She's now applying pressure. There is a body down line for Blue Valley, and Estes' pressure yields reward as a throw-in is awarded to the Broncos in their attacking third. Lozano charges forward to take this fairly quickly. Does so, finds Izzy Ferris before it's cleared out of play again. Little bit of ground gained for the Broncos.
You've said the phrase, looks for her sister now a couple of times, and isn't that just such a funny thing? Normally you don't, that's the thing about siblings. You don't have to look for them. They're just there. That's what can be annoying about them, is they're just always, they're always there. But on the soccer field, sometimes you do have to pick up your noggin and actually consciously look around for your siblings and your teammates.
And while in life, it may not always be the most fun to have a sibling always lurking nearby.
Yes.
On the pitch, it's almost always a benefit.
Yes.
To know that they know where you are and you know where they are, and it's just that natural connection, especially between a set of twins, as the Ferris sisters are. Throw in for the Tigers. Lozano not able to block that. Great 1-2 passing.
Same spot.
As Malik comes charging down this near side, Buckles applies the pressure, gets a touch on the ball, and then wins out in the second tackle. Estes dropping back to support. Her forward progression is denied. Malik with the turn on Buckles. Pressing forward. Pulls back and then is checked with the hip of Buckles. Free kick awarded to the Tigers.
Interesting delivery angle for this one. Should have a right-footed player with an in-swinger, at least theoretically speaking. But this is a spot we saw earlier in the season. Spring Hill had no idea what to do with any sort of offside line. Expect something different here.
Yang opts for the short ball. It's struck by Malik. Looked like it may have hit the hand of a Bronco, but it was attached to her body. So fair play. Clara backs. Sartino is dispossessed by Russo. Now Ferris finds Vogelbacher. Estes' run on the far side. Little behind where the ball is positionally. Ferris is in the middle. Vogelbacher surging with pace. Sends the cross looking for Estes. And it's gathered no problem by the goalkeeper. Great run there from Vogelbacher. Good awareness from Estes and Ferris to get into the box. But that final delivery was just too north. And it was gathered no problems by the goalkeeper.
And when you arrive here at Spring Hill Activity Center, you're greeted, as you are at many high school facilities, by a couple banners of the senior class members of the team. Of course, Vogelbacher is one of those. Now, what I didn't know, I looked over at the other field, senior in track and field. Also, Vogelbacher is a track star, and she showed you why on that play, sprinting down the right side. Of course, everyone watching this game knows this. I'm the last one to find out, as usual. But that was a good nugget for me to see, and also just made her game make a whole lot more sense.
She is definitely while on the soccer pitch, she's a distance runner. I believe in track and field, she's running the shorter distances, the sprints.
Again, totally makes sense.
If my memory serves me correct, I believe she went to state last year, just on top of all of that. So we are learning things about everyone on the pitch, but specifically Peyton Vogelbacher, as she gets a bit of instruction from head coach Eric Schwartz on this stoppage of play. We see Olivia Infante come back onto the pitch. McKenna Estes makes way, which will send Infante into the middle of the box, into the middle of the pitch, where she has a beautiful nutmeg there in her first engagement back into the fray. That also means Williams will go back onto this left wing. Sprague able to get back onto this ball. Infante amid pressure gets sandwiched between two Tigers. It's then played through. Great awareness there. Picks her head up. Finds the pass. Not quite able to come to fruition for Miranda Mayer.
Wow, this is just an excellent game. I mean, Tristan, we've kind of been waiting for this too because we've just been a little unlucky in terms of a couple of those 10-0 games. We've just pulled luck of the draw in terms of our broadcast schedule, but every ball tightly contested. Tigers up 2-0. They have had the better of the chances, but both teams very much not only in this, but both teams really want this.
And that's really more than placements and stats and all that good stuff. You can count statistics, shots on goal, shots on target. You can do as much as you want to do from a numerical standpoint, but really it's that drive.
Right.
If a player has the drive, if a team has the drive, that can be the difference. And coming into this matchup, we were looking at the numbers. We were looking at history between these teams and in their schools, and it's just every now and then, just that drive is all that you need. As Buckles is able to deny and then eventually cleared away by Russo. It's able to be kept in play by Ferris, sending it in, looking for her sister. Izzy's not quite able to get there, as a bit of miscommunication with Vogelbacher. Izzy Ferris drops back, able to deny the forward progression. It's then cleared away by Buckles. Peyton Vogelbacher able to get onto the end of it. Trails it for Ferris. She has possession still. You can tell that she's looking for that switch of field.
Yep.
And it ends up being a foul, and she was just looking to stop the ball. So back underway. Ball with Infante. Ferris sending it through. Great idea, trying to split that defense as the Tigers have been doing to masterful effect all evening. Both goals coming from some form of forward ball, just like this. Bergman and Buckles dropping back. Young coming all the way forward is the one to clear this. Only as far as Veronica Ferris. Rousseau finds Vogelbacher in the middle of the park. Great turn there from the striker. Captain sends it forward. It's blocked once by the Tigers and then collected. Now that I mentioned earlier that Bergman's attempt had a connection with her foot. It went into the hands of Young. I explained it, but that one looked a little bit more like a proper pass from the Tigers defender before being scooped up by the goalkeeper.
I think right now for Spring Hill, trying to do things maybe a little bit too quickly. I think the Broncos have looked at their best actually when they have built up slower, which is not maybe what we would have expected coming in here.
Murlock cutting it back. Looking for a teammate. Finds it at the top of the box. All the way across this time.
Great recovery by the Broncos here.
Mayer trails it back for backs. Nice cutout that time from Rousseau. You mentioned it. Great formational structure. Good composure in defense. Taking people down left and right. Ferris tries to do a quick turn distribution play, but gives up possession in the process. And the Tigers give it right back, doing the same thing. Izzy Ferris always has that right idea to send it forward, that she has the right idea in terms of where to play the ball, but oftentimes doesn't wait for her teammates to make the run first, as is the reason why that ball goes into the hands of the keeper. Maya Lozano, good step there. Bergman able to drop back and clears this one out of play for a throw-in. It's moments like that I want to see Bergman trail that to Young, right? Try to keep possession instead of just clearing it out of way and just allowing for a moment of ease. Ball crossed into the box. Buckles gets a touch and then applies the pressure to force it all the way back out. Cross in towards the box, headed once by Mayer before it's poked away. Still a dangerous threat here. Sprague goes down just at the top of the box. She's back to her feet as that ball will bounce through to Young, and she will gather no problems. Under a minute, about 45 seconds to go. Young will take her time putting this back out into play.
The Broncos had a pretty good response. I think had their best period of the first half immediately following that first Tiger goal. And then really that second goal for Blue Valley was just that individual brilliance.
And sometimes that can be the difference.
It can, and it was on that play. But this is an interesting halftime talk because, frankly, other than what I kind of alluded to, maybe playing a little slower, not needing to actually try what my key to the game was, which is pump it in early to Vogelbacher, actually kind of rethinking that approach. But otherwise, keeping the same effort level, keeping that same compact structure defensively, as this has been a very solid performance against a fantastic program.
And hopefully the second half could be just as solid from the Broncos, as while they gave up 2 in the first half, they will look to come back stronger than they were in this half, following a halftime talk with head coach Eric Schwartz. Keep it right here on Spring Hill Sports Live for our halftime show, brought to you in just a moment. Keep it right here on Spring Hill Sports Live.
When it comes to helping people with their finances, a cookie-cutter approach doesn't work. That's why you need Kim Thompson at Prudential Financial in Spring Hill. Kim knows that everyone's different. She'll listen to you and discuss your hopes and dreams, allowing you to focus on what's important. At Kim Thompson Financial, they focus on protecting your family, saving for retirement, living in retirement, financial strategy, saving for education, and your small business. To learn more, visit Kim Thompson Prudential Financial at the corner of Victory and Webster in Spring Hill, or call 913-592-5573. Your locally owned hometown Allstate agent is Libby Clark, now at her new location in downtown Spring Hill. Libby and her staff are passionate about the people they serve, helping them protect what matters most. With 24-hour customer service and options for online and in-person appointments, the Libby Clark Agency is the small-town agent you've grown to love, with the experience and products you'd expect from an industry-recognized premier agency. Visit them at their new location in downtown Spring Hill, just 1 block off Main on Hale, or call 913-686-6205.
At Olathe Health, we perform cutting-edge surgical procedures because changing lives with innovative care drives us, one patient at a time. Olathe Health. Advanced healthcare. Advancing lives.
If you're off your game because of pain or injury, turn to Olathe Health because orthopedics is our game. Joint repair and replacement, chronic conditions and injuries, hand surgery, sports medicine. Make an appointment today.
Pinky Plumbing in Spring Hill is a proud supporter of Bronco Athletics. Keeping your plumbing system in good shape can do wonders for your property's value and lifespan. Get exceptional plumbing services when you hire the plumbing specialist at Pinky Plumbing. At Pinky Plumbing, they take pride in their work and guarantee the best plumbing services in the shortest time possible at the most reasonable price. To learn more, give them a call at 913-568-8201 or visit pinkyplumbing.com. Go Broncos!
For over 80 years, Farm Bureau Financial Services agents have built relationships with you, one conversation at a time. And we're as committed as ever to providing you with that level of service. As part of your community, we're here for you, answering insurance questions and helping make sure your financial goals are on track.
Contact Farm Bureau Financial Agent Michael Gran anytime or learn more at michaelgran.com.
Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
And welcome back to the Spring Hill Activity Center here. The score is in favor of the visiting Blue Valley High School Tigers, 2-0, as the home team has done a nice job of protecting their net for the first 22 minutes or so before conceding one and then a second just about 5 minutes later. Overall, Alex, it's been a pretty good matchup between the two teams, but we are here for the halftime show brought to you by Michael Gran at Farm Bureau Financial Services. Michael's goal is to help you plan for the unexpected and protect your future. Getting to know you and the things that are most important to you will help them customize the right plan for your needs. To learn more, visit them at 117 South Main in Spring Hill or call 913-592-2336. Thank you, Michael Gran at Farm Bureau Financial Services. Alex, tell us a little bit about what we just saw in that first half.
Well, frankly, and this is some analysis that is kind of actually aided by me going back during this break and trying to kind of cut the goals. I do try to highlight, put Kansas high school girls soccer highlights on Twitter just because nobody does that. There is not a whole lot of conversation or anything like that generated. So that's something I can try to do if you'll pardon a little personal plug at Alex Smith PXP. You can follow me for both Bronco, but also just high school highlights in general from the state of Kansas. And we kind of caught on to immediately that second Tiger goal was just a moment of individual brilliance, running down the right side, kind of just overpowering that defense with that combination passing. But I think that applies to the first goal as well, actually. If you go back and watch that goal that I just clipped, it was a simple turnover in the Broncos' defensive third, and then one pass, a really good touch up top by the striker. And I think that was really kind of the only mistake that the Broncos made in possession. And with such a good quality team in the Tigers visiting here today, they pounced on that mistake. So, frankly, defensively, that's why you don't need to go have a big talk. You don't need to talk about doing things differently because things were done extremely well. There were, not even necessarily mental, but more like technical errors, technique letting a player down. In a moment like that, a poor touch results in a turnover, and that resulted in that first goal with the second goal just, not being one of those ones that you would ever hang your head about as a coach. So, really, the key offensively for the Broncos going into the second game is to be patient, especially early on in the half. You don't need to rush the scoring opportunities. I do feel that they have rushed some of their offensive activities in that Tiger final third.
So while you mention what to look for in the next half, let's go ahead and talk about the eye on the game, which is brought to you by Weitzel Optometry Vision Source. Keep an eye on your child's screen time. If they're experiencing eye strain or headaches, it might be a good time for an exam. Make an appointment with Weitzel Optometry Vision Source by calling 913-592-2020 and be sure to ask them about the 20/20 rule. So, Alex, going into the second half, you talked about things that they've done well in the first half, things they can improve on. But what is the one spot of this second half that you're going to have your eye glued to?
I'm going to be looking at that left and right back matchup. We saw Russo on the right side very often. I think it's Oppo on that left side too, if I'm not mistaken. And you'll kind of pardon me if I'm misidentifying people trying to, shoot up the game, frame things up here at the same time. But those battles on the outside, that's where it's been really interesting. That's where the Tigers players have kind of been able to show their skill and kind of get the deliveries. Most of that was from their offensive right side, which was the left back side for the Broncos. But those matchups are going to determine if the Tigers are able to score more goals here. In terms of if the Broncos score, I don't think that's necessarily an individual matchup-based thing. I think they've had some good probing attacks already in this game.
So we are going to keep our eye on those notes that Alex just gave us. My 20/20 vision has my eye set on Spring Hill's number 20, as Alex's was in the pregame. Keep your eyes on Vogelbacher. She seems to just be charging herself up for a big second half, and that is all that Spring Hill will need from her is a big second half. Not to rush those attacking opportunities, as Alex mentioned.
Right.
Keep that composure and simply finish when you get those opportunities.
Can I just add one thing, Tristan?
Absolutely.
You don't need to limit your child's screen time if they're watching Spring Hill Sports Live.
Yes, exactly. I like it. I like where your head's at, and I hope everybody's head is at the same spot as ours because it'll be glued right to this screen. You will be seeing 20/20 vision on this Spring Hill Sports Live Friday night soccer between Spring Hill Broncos and the Tigers of Blue Valley High School. We'll be right back with this second half on Spring Hill Sports Live.
For over 80 years, Farm Bureau Financial Services agents have built relationships with you, one conversation at a time. And we're as committed as ever to providing you with that level of service. As part of your community, we're here for you, answering insurance questions and helping make sure your financial goals are on track.
Contact Farm Bureau Financial Agent Michael Grand anytime or learn more at michaelgrand.com.
Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Hi, I'm Dr. Aaron Stowe with Paola Veterinary Clinic. We'd like to thank you for trusting us with the care of your pets and large animals. At Paola Vet Clinic, we're proud to be your hometown vets who know and care about your family. Coming soon, a new location here in Paola in the industrial park with cattle haul-in and boarding and grooming. With 24-hour emergency services and 3 other locations in Lewisburg, Drexel, and Martin City, and a team of 11 veterinarians, our commitment to this community makes Paola Vet Clinic the vets you can trust.
And welcome back to Spring Hill Sports Live. You can kind of see that the sun is slowly setting in the background here this evening. It is still a beautiful night for some soccer. A little bit chilly by some people's taste. It's dropped about 2 degrees from kickoff. It was 57. It's now 55. Still under a freeze watch until 9 a.m. or 9 a.m. Sunday morning. So keep your eyes out and open for any ice in the area. As we get ready for this second half, the buzzer has sounded. The clock is reset. The Broncos are still in the locker room, Alex.
Yeah, that's right. And this is against my religion. Framing up the opposition like this coming out of halftime, this is not something that you would ever see from me as a part-time camera operator. But the reason I've got them framed up is because the Broncos are nowhere to be seen. Actually, as I'm kind of expected as I was rambling there that they would walk out onto the field, but they still are not here. Here come the Bronco charge.
And just as you said, where are they? The coaches walk out, and followed by a herd of Broncos ready to get this game back into their stampede, into their stomping ground.
Is that the official term? I know there's a lot of I'm not questioning. I'm actually like I don't know. What's the terminology for a group?
A gaggle of horses?
Of Broncos specifically.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does that even have a name?
Would it be a buckle? A buckle of Broncos? Because they buck?
You know what?
That's
if
just a bad dad joke.
Then
that was just a bad dad
it
joke.
should be.
It should. Maybe it's I've got nothing. That was the only
a
the
procession
thing I had.
of ponies.
How
about that?
Ooh, I like that. A pageant of ponies. I was trying to come up with a different alliteration there.
I'm gonna link in. Speaking of processions, I've actually just gotten the call to help BJ out broadcasting graduation here at Spring Hill. So fortunately, and my goodness, Bronco fans are going to be really happy about this one. That will not include my voice in any capacity. My voice will not be narrating graduation.
You're not going to be reading the names
that
for the broadcast?
That would be awful. I mean, I practically know half the names here at Spring Hill High School from my time covering various sports, but no, that's technical support only. Just wanted to let our Bronco folks know that they can find a live stream of graduation for those maybe faraway relatives that won't be able to attend, or anyone closer to home who's not able to. They will be able to watch graduation on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Speaking of closer to home, some of the Supernovas were a little too close to the pitch as the center official walked all the way down to the near side to have them take a few steps back during this opening kickoff for the second half. We are back underway here following that halftime show from Michael Grand at Farm Bureau Financial Services. Heavy pressure early from Vogelbacher sees Yang have to trail and then send all the way back to the other side of the pitch. Good shift there from Ferris, trying to cut off that opportunity.
Yeah, what Spring Hill could really use is a similar type of defensive error to the one that they made that resulted in the first Blue Valley goal. That error has not been forthcoming, though, from this really tight Tiger lineup.
But what is forthcoming, it was an error from Clara Bax. Heavy tackle that time. Looked like the ball just got trapped under her foot as the Tigers defender cleans Elizabeth Williams out of her position on the planet for a moment. Now the Tigers trying to get a counterattack going the other direction, trying to get that early punch in the second half. The cross is deflected and out for a corner kick. And early on in the second half, a bit of nerves from the Broncos.
Yeah, the first opportunity kind of went to Spring Hill, and then what happens after? The first counterattacking opportunity. The Tigers, again, down the right flank. That's what they've done consistently in this game, and that time is some teamwork, 2 defenders on 1 player with the ball.
And Yang getting set to take this corner kick for the visitors. Williams is back into the box after having her foot checked out by the coaching staff on the sideline. Big ball, that one, and it's collected on the second time by Avery Young. Acres of space in front of Ronnie Ferris. Opts for the switch of field, looking for her sister, who plays it forward for Vogelbacher. Can her pace be to her advantage this time? She's able to win it the second time around. Plays it to the middle for Sprague, whose pass lets her down.
And so Spring Hill lost the ball there, but I got to give Vogelbacher some credit there because we talk all the time about her technical abilities on the ball and also her physical attributes with her speed. That time, her desire, not either one of those things, not either one of those advantages, but it was her desire to just continue contesting the ball that even allowed Spring Hill to be in contest for that possession.
I'm going to let a little bit of my childhood superhero nerd come out here, and she would make a great Green Lantern as their rings are powered by will. Mm-hmm. She's showing a lot of that in that moment. All right, nerd hat off. Back into broadcaster mode. Throw in for the Broncos.
Mine's been on the whole time. Mine never came off. I'm sorry. I didn't know we were taking them off.
Yeah, well, I kept my nerd soccer hat on.
Okay,
but I stacked a superhero hat on for a second, and I've taken that one off. I've put that back into the suitcase, and it will go home with me later this evening. Throw in taken by Russo. Finds Izzy Ferris before she pressures the Tigers to dribble out of bounds. Russo not exactly thrilled with the bit of gamesmanship there from the Tigers midfielder. Olivia Infante's forward movement is stunted by the center official as she cut off the opening, and then Infante was called for a foul in favor of the Tigers. Now looking for a cross. They're able to get it off, but it goes into the hands of Young, so no problems there for the Broncos goalkeeper.
Somehow the ball always makes its way down the right flank. Even when it starts in the center, even when it starts closer to us now, that was the side that it felt like I was kind of pointing my camera almost straight down throughout the first half, and now it seems as though I'm going to be doing the same thing, only just very zoomed in to that far sideline.
So, Alex, having watched this attack for a half and then a few sprinkles of minutes here, what side of the pitch would you say that the Tigers are favoring? I can't quite tell. Good physicality there from Bergman, and that right there, that moment, she thought about it. She turned in to play it towards Buckles and then cut it back and just put it out of play for a throw-in. Good pressure from Oppo. Infante just simply relieving the pressure. It's collected by Yang. Looking for a switch of fields in towards the box. It bounces once. Into the box it goes. Avery Young is there and forces it out of play for a corner kick. Well done from the junior goalkeeper from Spring Hill.
Yeah, that was kind of one of those in-between balls where the center backs kind of maybe stopped going for it because they thought this one's going to be way out of bounds, and that ends up not being the case at all. Keeper saves the day.
And Yang will get set for another corner kick. And
again, I mean, we've got people to grab these balls, and unfortunately they're congregating 2 of them together, not in the correct placement. It's a learning experience for all.
Young collects that, no problem. No educational lesson needed for the goalkeeper that time. Great ball played forward from Ronnie Ferris, intended for Izzy. Trailed back into the safe keepings of the goalkeeper. I haven't been able to see Sydney King's number on the back of her jersey, and she doesn't have one on the front of her jersey, so I haven't been able to say who the keeper is, but Blue Valley's goalkeeper is Sydney King this evening. She's been having a great half and some minutes. Heavy strike that time from the Tigers as the ball finds the only hole in that backdrop netting area just under the scoreboard. So we will now wait for one of the Supernovas at midfield to put a ball back into play. Ferris having to get involved and then clearing it all the way back.
You're seeing the space just opening up a little bit for the Tigers. These last few attacks could all have been described as counterattacks. And that's because Spring Hill are finding themselves needing just a few more bodies forward and going to need to keep an eye on that, as too much space on this wing right here could be a problem.
Not allowing much space at all is Russo, applying heavy pressure, just glued to Malik. Buckles eventually coming in to help out. Cross was able to get sent off anyway from Malik, so impressive there from the junior from Blue Valley High School. Vogelbacher steps into the midfield to pick up possession, looking for the run of Ferris. Ball's cleared back towards Izzy Ferris in the midfield.
Would have liked to see Vogelbacher run into the space there. Had tons of green, or actually it was purple because she was near the semicircle, or the center circle, but tons of space open for her.
Sometimes as a player, especially a player who's getting a bit more frustrated with the result as time continues to tick on, about half an hour left in this match, you see those moments of clarity that they may have had in the first half or just when a game is going more your way start to fade away, and just the urgency of we need to get a goal, we need to draw back, we have to claw back into this start to fade out, and a few errors being made, but certainly not the wrong idea, just it may have been better to dribble into that space. Absolutely, I agree. Russo wins a throw-in this time, and then the officials all change their minds. Throw-in for the Tigers.
Personally, I love it when officials change their mind.
Are you of the opinion that we need VAR at the high school level, Alex?
Oh, my. All I know is I think we're the only cameras shooting this game, and I certainly do not want to be responsible for that.
When I was in college, we used to do broadcasts for all of the school athletic events, and we were the VAR programming.
Yep.
The officials would come over to the sideline, as I'm sure you're
if
aware
they're allowed
of doing
to, right?
JCCC games.
If the conference allows it, they don't. That's the gray area that's dangerous when you don't have an official camera system, but you're still allowing the use.
Cross sent in towards the box, over towards the near side before it was tucked out of play by Malik.
It's a couple times now for the Tigers, though, that they have found a player alone at that far post, but typically the problem for Blue Valley has been it's kind of too late. That player makes the run, and they're almost standing out of bounds already, almost not in a scoring position anymore, as I think Spring Hill may try to play this one out of the back against the 3-player forward line from the Tigers.
And Spring Hill gets the ball back into play. They also had a substitution on that goal kick. Elsie Sprague coming out, McKenna Estes coming in, which we all know means bringing Elizabeth Williams into the middle of the pitch.
Right on.
Shuffling McKenna Estes out onto that left wing. Great defense there from Rousseau, winning the goal kick off of the foot of the oncoming Tiger. And again, we wait for the ball to be played back in. That time, much faster from the Supernovas. They're getting the hang of it down there on that near side,
and that's
left side corner flag.
That's all you can ask for is improvement throughout the 80 minutes.
Yes. All things in time, right? As the ball is sent back in via a throw-in by Clara Bax. Now Murlock. Dragging foot there from Veronica Ferris is called by the center official. Free kick awarded to the Tigers just on the edge of their attacking third.
Yeah, and despite this being such a close game and fairly physical game too, we actually have not seen too many free kicks. And that is because I think really both sides have just defended spectacularly well in this game.
Yang sends a beautifully lofted ball in towards the top of the box. Izzy Ferris following an awkward clearance, then sends it wide for Oppo, who eventually opts to just relieve everyone of the stress.
So I try to frame up all the activity in the box when that happens, but I just want to say, because the ball was out of the frame there, that was one of the most beautifully delivered free kicks at the high school level that you will ever see. Hooking one in from the right side, because you need to let the ball float there so that your players can actually get down toward the goal. And really, boys, girls, it doesn't matter. At the high school level, you just will not see a ball lofted in perfectly into the box like that one by the Tigers.
And Yang certainly has the composure to do so on the ball. Nice clearance that time from Russo, and again by Buckles, and again by Buckles. Infante finds Vogelbacher. Ferris making the run on this near side. Vogelbacher has the space. That time she did take her space before playing the ball, and just a little bit too long of a holdup from Ferris on that forward run. Just under 30 minutes remain here at the Spring Hill Activity Center as Vogelbacher applies pressure on the back line of the visitors, trying to scratch out a goal, trying to half this deficit, which currently sits at 2-0 following goals in the 22nd and 27th by Greta Likens and Megan Malik for the visiting Tigers. Vogelbacher able to possess amidst heavy pressure to her backside. Good pass for Williams. Now to the near side for Ferris, who sends it in towards the top of the box before it's cleared away. Only as far as Buckles, who's high into her attacking half. Izzy Ferris finds Russo down on the near touchline. She has Ferris. Opts to go to Williams, who then give and goes with Ferris. Tigers just happy to clear the ball that time. Good header to maintain possession from Murlock. Malik, and a nice drop back from Russo. I'm not entirely sure that the center official got that call right. I would have said Tiger throw, but I am also farther away from the play, so Broncos throw it is. Williams doing well to hold her body up. Free kick awarded to the Broncos. There are 5 substitutes ready to come in, none of which wearing purple, as we are still waiting for this free kick to come in from Russo.
Well, look at that. I thought they were going to be kind of ushered into the game there. They were not.
As Spring Hill wastes that free kick. Nutmeg from Buckles is collected by Russo, sending it down line, intended for Ferris, then cleared away for a throw-in. Again, the substitutions will be held as possession is not by the team in white jerseys.
These Supernovas here on the, These Supernovas here on the near side kind of getting some work in there on the past couple plays. They've got the system down.
Oh, yeah. Vogelbacher, amid pressure, was able to hold it up for a short period of time before it gets cleared away by backs. Ferris sending it long and far into the middle of the pitch, looking for Izzy Ferris, who is being pressed again, is dragged down. Center official sees it, blows her whistle. Free kick in a very dangerous area right outside the box in the attacking third. Infante and Vogelbacher both standing over this, trying to decide who's going to take it. Vogelbacher clearly wanting it.
Yep.
Whether or not Infante will give it to her, as Infante is historically the free kick taker for this Broncos team. Either way, it will be a right-footed effort.
And you can do some things here, too, if you want to. You don't have to put it directly on goal. I don't see anyone on the right side.
Vogelbacher opts to go for goal and sends it wide on the far side. Good effort, though, from the striker. Just trying to get her name on the score sheet.
And here comes the substitute brigade for Blue Valley.
And it very well may have been just it wasn't anything tactical in the first half, because it's another wave of substitutes, about the same amount of time into the second half as it was into the first. So as we wait for that final player to exit, ball will be put back into play off of this goal kick for the Tigers. If you're just joining us, the score is 2-0 to the visiting Blue Valley High School Tigers over the Spring Hill Broncos, following 2 goals in the 20th, in the 22nd and in the 27th minute. One of them a great individual effort down the right-hand side, which has been the opportunistic game plan from the visiting team, as Estes now able to get onto the end of that forward pass before it's cleared away. Throw in for the Broncos.
Defense just so tight, though, on a one-on-one basis for the Tigers. Really, the reason we haven't been kind of calling their names out as much is because they don't play with the ball, kind of in the back line the same way that Spring Hill does. Spring Hill kind of passes around and builds from the back, whereas they kind of, the Tigers rather, just kind of tend to want to get up the field with both the ball and with the players as rapidly as they can.
And a throw-in is conceded while the Tigers are trying to get up into their attacking half. They're able to do so following a clearance from Bergman. Buckles then has to step in and do the same. Second offering by way of a throw-in for the visitors. Bergman trying to intervene there, is down following the fall. We'll have a stoppage of play here for Bergman. Didn't look like too big of a fall. She's down. May have just knocked the wind out of her. She slowly gets back up to her feet. We have about 22 minutes remaining here in this second half. Nice to see Haley Bergman back to her feet. Jogging back to her position on the pitch. Corner kick awarded to the Tigers. Yang is at the corner flag. Sends another beautifully lofted ball. Nice punch there from Young. Izzy Ferris's clearance goes the wrong direction. McKenna Estes trying to dribble out of pressure, and that will go out for another throw-in. Yang will take this one again for the Tigers. Ball sent in towards the top of the 6 before it's poked away once. And finally cleared up to Vogelbacher, who's able to get a touch. Has acres of space in front of her. In lockstep with the defender, takes her down. Still in possession, looking for a cross. Nobody's in the middle. Now Ferris is there. Finally, she's dispossessed. The homestands are not happy with that tackle. Looked fairly clean to me. Elizabeth Williams then takes down the oncoming Tiger attack.
And that's one that I try to keep my, traditionally, Tristan, I'm in your role more often, play-by-play. And when I do play-by-play, I try not to wade into the waters too much, because even sometimes we're kind of doing our own cast, so we're play-by-play and color commentary,
Sure.
But I try not to. This one, though, I will venture out and say, I agreed with you. I thought the first play was physical and clean, but then the same play happens in midfield, and it's a foul on Spring Hill.
See,
they're both plays. They're both fouls. That's just my thoughts on that exchange there.
And that's totally fair. I'm gonna give you a little rebuttal. The tackle on Vogelbacher seemed to be a bit more upper body. There wasn't enough contact. One player did not go to ground. The tackle by Elizabeth Williams in the middle of the pitch just moments ago, she extended a leg and it was a tripping foul.
Okay.
So there was a connection of the legs that brought the Tiger to the earth and dispossessed her in the same process. No attempt for the ball in that tackle.
Right.
That's what I saw. And again, refereeing is subjective. You're never going to get a perfect game because a perfect game would have 3 red cards and 7 penalties and all this nonsense.
Right.
So it'll never be perfect. We have to live with that. That's all okay. Maya Lozano coming on to the pitch for Gracie Oppo, who has had a nice first half, a rather quiet second half. Good step from Williams, applying pressure. Again from Russo, who is thrown to the ground. And slowly getting a bit chippy down there.
It is.
Both teams leaving tackles in. Number 18 for Blue Valley has been about as physical as anyone else. Sophia Murr, the sophomore, just a larger body, bigger physical presence. And it'll be interesting to see where this game evolves, or rather devolves to, amidst all of this physicality, as that will go out for a throw-in, or not a throw-in, a goal kick. I know what the sidelines mean.
Well, that could have been a chance right there for the Tigers. A Bronco turnover kind of catching them unaware almost.
Not quite the connection that Aubrey Hutkins was looking for with the inside of her boot when it spiraled out of play. 2 Tiger defenders into the back of Veronica Ferris. Interesting tactics there from the visitors. Clearly it paid off as they have possession going forward. Yang looking forward, able to find a teammate. Good turn, simply trying to possess. Vaz sending it forward. Good clearance from Bergman.
The role of the Blue Valley midfield is really interesting because it almost seems like they play more backward passes than forward ones. And that's because the Blue Valley defenders are so adept at moving the ball up, particularly Yang especially. But that kind of just creates an interesting role positionally where they end up being much more focused on breaking up play, just distributing the ball and preventing the Broncos from attacking. And you're kind of wondering how many times I can say, hey, I feel the Broncos are, attacking well, or I feel like the approach play is working, despite not really seeing that many chances. Well, that is why, because there are players specifically on the Blue Valley side whose one and only task is to make life progressing the ball through the midfield very difficult.
They will continue to try to make that difficult, although Veronica Ferris is able to cut out the throw-in, and her sister then applies pressure in the middle of the park. Late tackle that time from Ferris. Referee calls it clean. Williams, well done. Good give and go there from number 2 to number 3 for the Broncos. A little nutmeg, a bit of sauce from Veronica Ferris, and that ball into the middle was way too early, as it is easily collected by King.
Well, usually you do want to eat your dinner along with the sauce, and that's what the Broncos need here in these final 15 or so minutes.
They're hoping for a bit more than just whatever chicken is left on the bone with their meal, as that is what they will be served as of right now. They still have about 16 minutes to get something going.
Now, to be clear, Tristan, I think all these players will get a square meal tonight.
Absolutely.
When they go home, regardless of the result.
We're not starving them, and Alex and I have no say in whether and what they're eating anyway. So, nor are we saying that that's all they deserve. It's just a metaphor. It's just a metaphor. Maya Lozano with a nice step there. Takes a deflection, and then it's cleared away by Infante. Throw in for the visitors.
One of my favorite things about this field is that normally you can see cows on this field in the background. It does seem that, I don't know, maybe pastures are being rotated, or maybe, frankly, I'm not qualified to speak on things like that. I don't know anything about that, but hoping at some point in this season we might get the return of some of our friends in the background.
Your bovine knowledge is limited, as is mine.
It certainly is. It's embarrassing. I go out to Paola. They do have cows in the backdrop of the baseball shot in Paola. I love that one.
There you go. I do know what a grouping of cows is called, and it is called, say it with me, 3, 2, 1, cattle. Oh, you didn't join.
I was overthinking it.
A Minnesota boy. Supposed to be Midwestern, man. All good.
Now I know.
Corner kick awarded to the Tigers. Yang jogs her way over to the corner flag. If we know anything about Yang's corners, this will be put onto and as soon as I say that, she opts for a completely different idea. Good strike, but it is nowhere near the frame of net. Clean connection, we'll say. And Avery Young gets set to take this goal kick.
Yeah, this second half just petering out a little bit in terms of its intensity. And we've kind of had the first and then the second wave of substitutions being made for both teams. And Broncos trying to inject a little bit of life, a little bit of energy into the final stages here.
And part of that injection will come in the form of a substitute who is getting ready to check in. Vogelbacher, strong tackle that time. She's down after the play. Referee allows for play on.
Excellent tackle.
Well done from the Broncos. Estes cutting it back, playing it towards the middle of the park, intended for Ferris. Probably had an easier pass with Infante. Yang trying to distribute out of the back. Estes cuts out the pass. Still Estes. Surging forward and is dispossessed. Still applying pressure, though. It will go off of Estes, out for a throw-in for the visitors. Both teams will make a substitution. Olivia Infante comes off. Jessica Russo will then move into that midfield role as Gracie Oppo checks in to be the new right back for the Broncos. Lozano with good heavy pressure. High up the pitch. Throw in awarded to the Broncos. I love the flag work from the assistant official on the far side. They will raise it directly into the air as sharply as can be, and then a very sharp forward point in the correct direction of the foul or throw. Player down after the play, able to stand back up as my watch tries to tell me what's happening elsewhere in the world.
It's interesting when the refs wave the flags around like that because sometimes they're located so far away from the play. Like, look at how far away this linesman is from the action, but they're waving things demonstratively. They're making moves.
Vogelbacher sends this in towards the box, looking for Rousseau. Bounces once. She was offsides anyway, according to the near side AR. AR, of course, standing for assistant referee.
I was going to say I would love to live in an America where AR meant assistant referee.
Wouldn't we all? Gracie Oppo trailing back, putting that out of play amid pressure. Tigers trying to get a third here as they are in their attacking third. Murlock looking for the shot. Good block that time from Young with a nice save, and then another. First denying Malik. And the second time, far easier, simply able to jump on top of it.
There's a nice highlight for the Spring Hill goalkeeper. Has not been required to do too much, as despite the 2-goal advantage, I don't think it would be accurate to say that the Tigers have dominated this game offensively, per se.
I would agree with that statement. Both teams have had opportunities, just one of them a bit more frequently, and have been more clinical in that final third. But it's certainly not taking anything away from the home team.
Getting down into crunch time for the Broncos.
Vogelbacher using her body well. Dribbles out of play eventually. Is unhappy with that call.
I think was the right one.
I agree.
But that is one where we are actually uniquely positioned.
Yes. And it wasn't a situation where we could see purple on the far side of the ball, or on the near side of the ball, in between the line, which, as we know from the World Cup, doesn't always mean it's out of play. Broncos looking for a switch of field, finding Estes. She has space in front of her, but it is slowly closing. Opts for the simple pass for Russo, who is upended. Center official allows for play on. The Tigers looking for their third. Heavy tackle from Russo that time. Another foul, in my opinion, that is let go.
Thought there were two arms maybe extended on that one.
That second call, clearly a makeup call. Or rather, make-up no call for the foul that should have been called on Jessica Russo. And the second one was by Jessica Russo. And then, not
foul
sure.
Behind the play after the pass right there.
And that chippiness slowly growing back into this match. Not necessarily the ferocity of pace and intention to move forward, but more so just the aggravation with the scoreline and stagnation of the play. Bergman sending it downfield, looking for Estes. Not quite able to possess that ball. Russo, though, able to get a toe on it. Goes out of play, out for a throw-in for Blue Valley. Good awareness from Buckles. Her clearance goes off of an attacking player, scooped up. Now Mayer on the far side. She has 3 teammates in the box, and that is no problem for Avery Young, who spills it at first, but then dives on the second chance before anything else could come of it.
Almost had the classic curse of the commentator there. You say it's no problem, and just as you say that, goalkeeper drops the ball, but you're right on the spot. No danger resulted from that slight miscue.
Vogelbacher using her body well yet again. She has been growingly confident in her ability to be physical down there, and that ball goes out of play again. We've seen that idea from Vogelbacher a couple of different times to try to connect with Ferris down this near side. Ferris just doesn't have the pace to get onto a ball that's cooked to that level of doneness. And to throw in awarded. We wait for a substitution that has just been made for the team in white. Good step from Russo on Malik. Bergman putting it back into the midfield. Williams trails back to Buckles. Buckles' forward pass is cut out. Good step from Oppo. And then is able to win out in the end.
Really good battle in midfield right now.
Indeed. Neither team wanting to cede much space. Both trying to play with passing. Ball played through by the Tigers. Bergman's there, able to play that out of play for a throw-in.
Looks like this match will wrap up just before sunset, which I think at times during the fall, during the boys soccer season, we see some really picturesque skies here in Spring Hill.
And picturesque, while the sky may be, the scoreline has not been, although this game has been certainly a battle. One of the best games that I've seen in this ground, at least this season. While it's not favorable to the home team, it has certainly been a good match.
It also speaks very highly to their development, I think, too.
Absolutely. Lots of growth going on down there on the pitch from the start of the season to now, and it's increasingly exciting to think about where they could be at the end of the season, let alone next season. Starting the season with a very young core, only a handful of seniors still on the roster. Nice to see that coaching staff, led by head coach Eric Schwartz, are still working, and that ball goes off the crossbar. Still dangerous here as the Tigers looking for a second opportunity. Oppo intervenes, and then it's poked away and out for a corner kick there as I was reminiscing on the years to come and not paying attention to what was right in front of me as an opportunity comes and then goes for the Tigers.
Oh, Tristan, you were right on that one. The opportunity really coming from what we kind of call a half chance. The ball just bouncing around and then made its way favorably to the Blue Valley forward and really had the entire goal to aim at. Found only the crossbar.
Beautiful lofted cross from Yang. Second offering from Mayer goes out of play. Well done from Young to palm that one out of the 6-yard box. It stayed inside the keeper's area, but no threat that time.
Very impressed by the Tigers really throughout this whole match. And one of the things that I am so impressed by is that there's not one player or one area or one thing that is jumping out to me about them. It's just how methodical they are and how they don't lose track at any point in the game of what the mission is. They don't lose their heads. They don't make mistakes.
Speaking of making mistakes, Vogelbacher not making any, just simple dispossession there, unfortunately, by the Tigers. Well done trying to hold that ball up, trying to send it forward for herself that time. Ball goes out of play. Throw in for the Broncos. When you think about it, if Spring Hill are able to have this type of performance against one of the quote-unquote best teams in Kansas,
right?
That's a 6A program. They can certainly do this the rest of the season against the 5A and 4A talent in their conference. While they may have won 10-1 yesterday against Ottawa, the coaching staff before this match were telling me they were not exactly pleased that they allowed a goal to Ottawa. So clearly some words were said and some messages were received by this Broncos roster.
I'm really looking forward to the matchup between, well, as I pretty much am in a constant state of looking forward to Lewisburg versus Spring Hill in something, I'm always looking forward to that all-purple clash, and I think this year's girls varsity soccer, I think Lewisburg has an extremely strong team that we actually saw earlier this week in a very, very windy afternoon at Wildcat Stadium, and I think that has the chance to be one of the most entertaining games, certainly a winnable game, frankly, for either team.
Vogelbacher upended that time around, and a stoppage of the clock is called as well. Good pace from Vogelbacher as she's able to get onto the end of it. She tried to pull herself forward, and a yellow card will be issued to Yang, the captain of the Tigers, and she will have to exit the pitch following that yellow, as are the rules of Keisha.
Right, so that's not an excessive force or poor sportsmanship foul. That's a location of the foul, yes. a last defender challenge, as Vogelbacher was sprinting through. Did appear that she may have been through the last two defenders, but Yang making what ends up being a smart play. In basketball, you call it a take foul. It's a little different when it's a yellow card. It's worth a little more than, just one foul is in basketball, but same concept.
In soccer, you may hear it referred to as dog-so, denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity.
Wow, I'm going to use that. You know what? I had not heard that, so I like that.
Vogelbacher opting for the strike. It's on target, but it's gathered by King as she drops to her forearms, eating up a bit of the clock. But a dog-so opportunity or a dog-so foul is when that final defender draws down the forwardmost attacker. And so oftentimes at the professional level, specifically MLS and other FIFA-sanctioned leagues, you will see that registered as a red card for that dog-so incident. Again, that is denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. As the Broncos try to play out of the midfield. They're dispossessed. Malik. Good step there from Bergman before she passes it to the opposition. Broncos regaining their defensive structure. Bergman again intervening, denying two opportunities in quick succession. This time it's parried out by Young, and then it's batted right back into her arms by the incoming Tiger attacker.
Young's got to get rid of it. 1 minute to score.
Broncos certainly have the attacking power to unleash this opportunity. Draw at least a goal back, although at this point in the game it would likely just be a consolation goal. And the Tigers will eat as much of the clock as they can. 45 seconds remaining. Score still reads 2-0. Ferris sending it forward, looking for Vogelbacher, gets turned around a little bit, finds the ball, finding the space in front of her down this near side, sending the cross in, nobody's there. Estes coming in a bit later, and a nice bit of skill there from Clara Bax. Able to dribble out of pressure. Bergman commits the foul, which will probably be the final action of this match as Buckles accidentally kicks the ball into Bergman. And that will almost certainly do it as the Tigers opt for a final shot attempt, and that will bounce once before being collected by Young. That is our ball game here at the Spring Hill Activity Center. The home team fall to a 6A program that is one of the best in Kansas. But what a performance to be proud of, regardless of the result. Blue Valley Tigers 2, Spring Hill Broncos 0. We'll be right back on Spring Hill Sports Live with the post-game coverage.
Rain Dance Studios is the area's newest dance studio with professionally trained staff, a brand new facility, and classes for every dance and tumbling level. Rain Dance Studios is everything you never knew you needed in a dance family. With an emphasis on customer experience, exquisite dance technique, and dancer confidence, Rain is the dance studio for every aspiring dancer. Come join Spring Hill's premier dance experience and get the royal treatment. Schedule a free 2-week trial by visiting raindancestudios.com.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center. As Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center, they work on all makes and models, even RV, marine, aviation, motorcycles, and more. Shoemaker Collision offers free estimates and loaners, plus they will work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095.
Weitzel Optometry Vision Source has been the leader in optometry services and vision care in Spring Hill for more than 20 years. Weitzel Optometry offers comprehensive eye care, as well as the latest, most popular lenses and frames for Spring Hill and the surrounding communities. Experience modern eye care with advanced diagnostic technology and vision correction products. And with the experience of Doctors Weitzel and Bloodgood, you're sure to see the results you're looking for. To schedule your appointment, call Weitzel Optometry Vision Source at 913-592-2020.
Welcome back to the Spring Hill Activity Center. I'm Tristan Jordan, joined by Alex Smith for your post-game breakdown. Final score, the visiting Blue Valley High Tigers 2, the home team Spring Hill Broncos 0. Alex, what are your thoughts?
Well, I've been kind of sharing my Bronco thoughts kind of throughout this game, how I think they might be able to get back into this one. Ultimately, I think this is a very well-played game by both teams, but especially by the losing team, the Spring Hill Broncos tonight, coming in, you said it, against the 6A program, against one of the best teams in the entire state of Kansas, and that's now the 8th win of the season in the 9th game for Blue Valley. They have conceded 6 goals all year, and in terms of what are my, grandiose thoughts about what this game means, I think they showed you exactly why that is throughout this entire game. And I think Yang was really good at the back. She was kind of the one central defender that kind of stood out, but that was only more because she was the one in the first half who was kind of dribbling around players, unleashing those longer passes. But in terms of defending, the entire team for Blue Valley, especially those 3 midfielders, those 3 just destroying midfielders, just played extremely well and really limited anything the Broncos could do offensively.
So when thinking about a duo, a vaudevillian duo, if you will, out there on the pitch, it's time for our Chamber of Connection, brought to you by the Spring Hill Chamber of Commerce, reminding you to support our community and shop local. Keep up to date with Chamber events by visiting them online at springhillks.org. So, Alex, when looking at this match as a whole, was there a pair of players that stood out to you and that had especially solid chemistry or a connection, if you will.
Sure, I'll go with the kind of the Spring Hill side. Obviously, it's our sponsorship. We don't talk about other players on our sponsorship. The outside backs for Spring Hill, Russo and Oppo, really were impressive to me today. Now, part of that was because they had the most opportunity to be impressive because Blue Valley were just attacking relentlessly. But the quality of tackling, again, this applies to both sides, but we're thinking specifically about Spring Hill. The quality of tackling in this game was very, very impressive, very high level.
Absolutely. So special thank you to the Spring Hill Chamber of Commerce for sponsoring that Chamber Connection as we are in our post-game show, which is brought to you by Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center, Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center. They work with all insurance companies and can get you back on the road in no time. To learn more, visit them online at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095. Alex, one more question before we let you and our viewers all go home, although our viewers are already at home. Alex, what is one thing that the Broncos can take from this game from a mentality standpoint?
Well, you can play with anyone. This game could have broken a different way. A corner kick could have bounced differently for the Broncos. They could have been ahead 1-0 at halftime. That's not to take away from the dominance that Blue Valley really showed once they had the lead. They really didn't look back. But especially before that initial first goal, this was a very, very balanced game. And I think the Broncos can take high spirits into their next contest, into the tail end of their season here this year.
So you heard it from Alex Smith. I'm going to go ahead and affirm everything that he just said. It is certainly a game to be proud of. While the results on the scoreboard weren't favorable to you, it is certainly an immense product to put out onto the pitch to hold one of the best teams in the 6A conference class system in the state of Kansas to just 2 goals at home. Very impressive showing from the Broncos here tonight. Again, final score, visiting Blue Valley High School 2, home team Spring Hill Broncos 0. Thank you for tuning in for Spring Hill Sports Live. For Alex Smith and BJ Harris, I'm Tristan Jordan signing off. Have a great weekend to come.
You've been watching Spring Hill High School Sports on your home for the Broncos, Spring Hill Sports Live. Spring Hill Sports Live is presented by Strode Orthodontics, creating beautiful, healthy smiles. Learn more at StrodeOrtho.com. Also by and be sure to catch every second of the action right here on your home for the Broncos, Spring Hill Sports Live.